Oh no! God, thank you all for being here. How much fun is that? And how about school board members? School boards matter. Yes, they do. Friends, here we are tonight. And I just want to thank all of you for being here, because this means you love the Commonwealth of Virginia just like I do. Just like I do. And we're in this moment, we're in this defining moment that is going to send the trajectory of the Commonwealth of Virginia in a totally different direction than we've been. This is our moment where we get to stand up and make a statement. We get to make a statement that Virginia is no longer going to settle. We're going to soar. We are no longer going to be told that accepting mediocrity and low standards is something we have to accept. This is a moment where Virginians get to stand up and say that this left, liberal, progressive agenda that's been taking over Virginia and trying to turn us into California East, we're saying no right now. Right now tonight. We know this moment sits here in front of us. A moment where we get to celebrate the fact that Virginians constantly hold up an endless effort to better our lives for prosperity, and we don't have to accept the blocks that are put in front of us by self-centered politicians who only worry about their own careers, their own lives, as opposed to those careers and those lives of the people that elected them to go serve them. This is our time to say no to a culture that tells our children they should shelve their aspirations and their dreams. We get to say no to a moment where big government is trying to impose its will on individual liberty. This is our time. This is our time as Virginians. And I have to tell you, folks, what you're seeing right here is happening all over the Commonwealth of Virginia. It is unbelievable. Everywhere we go, the crowds are spilling out into the streets. I mean, I was in Old Town Alexandria yesterday morning. Old Town Alexandria, I thought there'd be 25 people at 8 o'clock in the morning. There was 400 people. They fell out into the street. We had to close the intersection. And all of a sudden, I looked out and I said, wait a minute, Old Town, I didn't think there were any Republicans here. And the crowd went nuts. We're for you, we're for you, we're for you. Folks, this is happening everywhere. And this is Virginians coming together. It's not Republicans versus Democrats anymore. It's Virginians standing up for those values we hold dear. For those values that we know will make Virginia the best place to live and work and raise a family. For those values that absolutely reflect the fact that we're standing up for our children, for our grandchildren, for our nieces, for our nephews. This is no longer a campaign. It is a movement, and it is a movement led by Virginians. And that's what we've got in front of us. All of a sudden, we can make a statement. A statement not just for the future of our Commonwealth, but for the future of our country. The whole country's watching. The whole country is watching. Why? There's only 2 statewide races, New Jersey and Virginia. And I get notes from parents all over the nation. They're blowing up our website. Glenn, stand up for our kids too. Stand up for our kids too, because we get to vote in Virginia right now. On November 2nd, we get to vote. And America needs us to vote for them. I mean, they see Terry McAuliffe trying to put government between parents and their children. They see Terry McAuliffe trying to tell everybody that your employer's got to fire you if you don't get the vaccine and he doesn't want you to get unemployment. They see Terry McAuliffe telling everybody that you must join the union. It's not your choice anymore. They see Terry McAuliffe talking about raising taxes. Friends, this is a moment for us to make a statement that big government control is going to lose and liberty and freedom in Virginia are going to win. That's what's happening. So here we are. I mean, this is what we do. Virginians lead, we don't follow. We lead, we don't settle. I mean, the spirit in the air, yes, it's the Lord, but the spirit in the air is also Washington and Jefferson and Madison and Monroe and Patrick Henry. I mean, you can feel our founders. You can feel them saying, come on, Virginia, get this done. I mean, I constantly am reminded of Patrick Henry standing up and saying we will not ratify that Constitution until it has a Bill of Rights. A Bill of Rights that protects his individual freedoms, individual liberty from big government. Sound familiar? And here we are. And he said we won't ratify it until we have one. And they used Virginia. It's written by George Mason. And we stand on the shoulders of giants right now. And it's not about a candidate. It's not about me. It's not about Winsome Sears. It's not about Jason Miaras. It's about us. It's about us. It's Terry McAuliffe versus Virginia, and Virginia's going to win. That's what's going to happen. And I got to tell you, we are going to sweep these statewide elections. Jason Miaras will be our next Attorney General. And Winsome Sears will be our next Lieutenant Governor. And we are going to take back our House of Delegates, and we're going to have control of our House. But you know what else is going to happen? We're going to win local seats all over Virginia. Board of Supervisor seats, City Council seats, Treasurer seats, Sheriff seats, School Board seats. This will not be a lonely victory. We are going to sweep through this Commonwealth with the spirit of Virginia alive. This is what's happening. Now let me just tell you folks, though, this is right here for the taking. Polls do not win elections. Votes do. Votes do. We had to get this done. We're standing here on Halloween, so thank you for being here. We're standing here on Halloween, and this election is in 2 days. And something amazing happened to change people's minds. We got to get everybody out to vote. This is our moment to recognize that this democracy is not a spectator sport. It is an absolute time to get in the arena and get dirty with us, and we need you. We need you to get out and vote. We need you to bring 10 friends. We need you to get out and vote. And we will win this. And we will make that statement that changes the future of our Commonwealth, the future of our country, and sends this shockwave across the system that not a single seat held by a Democrat in America is safe. Not one. Because America, together with us, is rejecting this left, liberal, progressive agenda. Now, I get asked all the time, hey, Glenn, are you sleeping well? And I always say, well, thanks for worrying about my health. I'm sleeping like a baby. I wake up every 20 minutes screaming. What am I waking up about? I'm worried about Virginia. I'm worried about our children. I'm worried about our grandchildren. I'm worried about our schools. I'm worried about safety in our communities. I'm worried about our job growth. I'm worried about taxes. I'm worried about a government that tries to tell us what to do all the time as opposed to working for us. We can go change that. We can change all of this. Let me just tell you what's going to happen on day one. On day one, go on a walk with me. On day one, Jason Miaras is our new Attorney General, and Winsome Sears is our new Lieutenant Governor, and I are going to stand underneath Mr. Jefferson's portico in Richmond. And we're going to put our hand on a Holy Bible, and we're going to swear to God Almighty that we're going to protect and defend the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of this great Commonwealth of Virginia. That's the way we're going to start off. And then we're going to walk down those stairs, and we're going to stop for a minute. And we're going to have, Paige is going to join Jason, and Terrence is going to join Winsome, and Suzanne's going to join me, and we're going to invite anybody else who wants to join us. It's all up to you. But we're going to stop for a moment of real prayer. We're going to thank the Lord for watching over us, for providing for us, for protecting us, for giving us a path to walk down that He then can help us walk, give us the words to speak His will, not our will. We're going to thank Him for all the people who come around us. And then we're going to ask for His guidance, we're going to ask for His strength, and we're going to ask for Him to continue to encourage us and watch over us as we do the work that needs to get done. And then we're going to say amen in His name, and then we're going to work. And then we're going to work. So there's a lot to do. There's a lot to do. Friends, on day one, we are going to lower the cost of living in Virginia because it is too expensive to live here. We're going to cut everybody's taxes because they've been overtaxing us in Richmond, and we know it. Over the last year, the progressives in Richmond, they overtaxed us $2.6 billion in the middle of a pandemic. They're going to do it again this year. It's so expensive to live in Virginia now, more people move away than move here from the other 49 states. And we all know where they're going. Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, Florida, Texas. My wife's a Texan. I know this. That's where they're going. Friends, we got to stop this. And so we got to get the cost of living down on day one. So on day one, we will declare the largest tax refund in the history of Virginia. We are going to eliminate the grocery tax. We're going to suspend the most recent increase in the gas tax. Gas is too expensive. We're going to double everybody's standard deduction. And we're going to work for our veterans. We're only one of a handful of states that taxes our veterans' retirement. 1 out of 11 Virginians is a veteran. They understand that freedom is not free, and we got to say thank you. So we're going to work on day one to exclude up to $40,000. It takes us 3 years to get there. Where veterans' retirement benefits from taxes altogether. I want our veterans to stay in Virginia, not move away. Friends, it's so important. All that together totals about $1,500 in our schools. They're letting our kids down. When Terry McAuliffe was governor, 88 schools failed to reach their accreditation. And instead of doing the hard work and fixing the schools, all they did was lower the standards so not one would fail. Today, when it comes to the standards required to progress in reading and math, 50th, George W. Bush called it the soft bigotry of low expectations. We do not want to be a commonwealth of low expectations. We want to be a commonwealth of high expectations. We want our kids to soar, not flounder. You know, the test results have been so sad. Brings tears to your eyes. Last spring, 55% of white children couldn't pass an 8th grade math equivalency. These expectations in our schools, and we're going to fund in the largest education budget in the history of Virginia. We're going to raise teacher salaries. We're going to fund into facilities. We're going to fund special education. Virginia's kids with disabilities have suffered mightily during this pandemic, and they deserve investment. They do. Then we're going to launch the most aggressive charter school program in the history of Virginia to have choice within our public schools for parents. Parents matter. Terry McAuliffe wants to put government between parents and their children. We got to give choice back to parents. I saw this great t-shirt the other day. A woman came up and took a picture, and the t-shirt said, "I do not co-parent with government." That's a great shirt. We only have 8 charter schools in the entire Commonwealth of Virginia. 8. Maryland has 140. North Carolina has 190. We have 8. We're going to launch 20 on day one. 20 in part of our public school system. It's just a down payment to get us started. We're going to close that gap so fast it'll make your head spin. Charter schools that prepare our kids how to go to college or for a career. We're going to partner with businesses so we have a curriculum that prepares folks to get going if that's the way they want to go. We got to give avenues for all of our kids. Curriculum, though. That's where it starts. And so let me just be clear. We will teach accelerated math in our schools. We will award advanced diplomas. We'll teach history, all history, the good and the bad. The good and the bad. Friends, America is the greatest country in the world. We're going to talk about it in schools, but we're also going to teach the chapters that are dark and abhorrent, because if we don't know where we've come from, we can't know where we're going. But one thing, the rape rate went up every year. He would not even meet with the Police Benevolent Association. They represent nearly 7,000 of our heroes that put a bulletproof vest on every day to go to work. He wouldn't even meet with them. That's why 50 sheriffs have endorsed us. 4 sheriffs have switched parties and become Republicans. The Police Benevolent Association endorsed us. Fraternal Order of Police endorsed us. We're going to work on day one. We're going to comprehensively fund law enforcement, higher salaries, better equipment. We're going to fund training. We're going to protect qualified immunity. It goes nowhere when I'm governor. We're going to invest in our mental health system. It is so broken. It's been broken for 8 years. We need more facilities. We need more professionals. And hear me very clearly. On day one, I will fire the entire parole board, and we're going to start all over. On day one, we're going to get this great Virginia economy moving again. It's been stalled out for 8 years. Under Terry McAuliffe, Virginia's economy grew 120% slower than our peer states. I mean, Maryland, North Carolina, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, they've been lapping us for the last 8 years. North Carolina generated 8 times the jobs that Virginia did over the last 8 years. Tennessee 6 times. God, Ford Motor Company made their big statement. Two new plants and road jobs showed up. Where it came from? If a CEO acted like that, you not only fire him, you would never consider rehiring him. This is what he left us, a stalled out economy we got to get moving in. So on day one, I will declare that Virginia is open for business, no lockdowns, no shutdowns. We're going to start growing. We're going to protect our right to work status in Virginia. It's critical. By the way, this is not an anti-union comment, it's a pro-worker comment. Terry McAuliffe stared at a camera and he said he would get rid of right to work when it came to his desk. Why? So then the unions paid him millions of dollars for his campaign. He's totally bought and paid for. I'm not. I'm going to do what's right for Virginia. The Virginia Economic Development Partnership tells us that if we lose right to work, it's going to cost Virginians $11 billion in investment, almost 40,000 jobs. We have to protect our right to work to grow, to get companies to come here. So I'm going to protect the right to work, but we got to get growing. Growth solves many problems. And so on day one, we're cutting 25% of job-killing regulations. The Virginia Code is 37,000 pages long. Try printing that out on your home computer. I mean, it's unbelievable to me. No one can comply with that. We're going to declare a 12-month tax holiday so small business can keep your profits and you can reinvest in growth and employment. We got to get Virginia's trained, so we got that workforce training so that people can take a growing economy job. And we got to get back starting businesses in Virginia. We're ranked 49th in the nation as best places to start a business. Only Connecticut is worse. I've been to Connecticut. We do not want to be Connecticut, folks. So we have to have incubators and accelerators and capital formation. We actually have to cut the paperwork to start a business. We got to get growing. And let me be clear. Governors do not create jobs. Businesses and people do. And so together we're going to work. And we're going to work together to generate 400,000 jobs and stimulate 10,000 startups. And we've got a lot of work to do here in Southwest Virginia. We know it. We should be an economic engine. We got to get broadband all over Southwest Virginia. Terry McCall's been promising broadband since 2009. I work in real people time, not government time. Let's get this done. Let's get this done. But there's so many businesses that should be here. Manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, electronics, technology, healthcare, logistics, all right here. And we got to go get them. We got to go get them, and I can't wait to work with all of you to make it happen. We are going to get this great economy moving, and we're going to lift up everybody. Lift up everybody. And on day one, and it's going to be a busy day one. We got day 2, day 3, day 4 coming, so get ready. But on day one, we're going to make this government in Virginia work for us and stop telling us what to do all the time. This is about big government control versus freedom and liberty, and I'm on the side of freedom and liberty. Friends, it's about our constitutional rights. They've been trampled on like never before. Our First Amendment rights, our Second Amendment rights, our 10th Amendment rights. When this governor allowed ABC stores to open and kept my church closed, I knew he didn't understand my First Amendment. And when he lets the FBI come into Virginia and try to silence parents as they stand up for their children, I mean, they do not understand what the Bill of Rights means. And Terry McAuliffe wants to take guns away from law-abiding citizens, and he wants to give them to hardened criminals. Friends, we're standing up for our Second Amendment right. And finally, the 10th Amendment right is something Jason Miyares and Winston Sears and I are going to absolutely use to protect Virginia from Washington overreach. Together, we are going to push back on behalf of Virginia against Washington and stand up for our rights. I have a pet peeve. I cannot stand inefficiency and waste. And here I am going into government. So on day one, we are launching a statewide audit of every department, rooting out waste, rooting out fraud, increasing transparency. And let me tell you where we're starting on day one with the Virginia Employment Commission and the Department of Motor Vehicles. And here's how you're going to know we're being successful. You're going to call into the DMV and 2 things are going to happen. Number 1, someone's going to answer the phone. And number 2, they're going to say, hello, how may I help you? This is supposed to be government for the people, of the people, by the people. This is our future. This is the Virginia we can build together. This is the Virginia promise. A promise that can actually live through our children and our grandchildren. We have generational relationships. We have generational friendships, not people moving away all the time. This is the Virginia where your parents and your grandparents can go for a walk and not worry about anything other than what they're going to do the next day, because it's been such our children are prepared to either go to college or get a career. This is the Virginia where we can afford to live here and use our money. Friends, it's your money. Our economy is so much better when you're in charge of your money versus government figuring out what to do with it. This is the Virginia we can build together. But it will not happen unless we make Tuesday happen. We must get out and vote. Friends, this is not about me. It's not about Winston, not about Jason. It's about us. On that ballot is Terry McAuliffe on one side and Virginia on the other, and Virginia's going to win. And I got to get you guys out. I got to get you guys out to Washington, Jefferson, and Madison, and Monroe, and Patrick Henry. It's living here because it's our time to pick up the mantle and run with it. That's why it's living here. And here's our moment. So on Tuesday, I need to ask you for two big things. One, get out and vote and bring 10 friends. And the 10 friends you bring can't be here. They got to be 10 other friends, and they got to be 10 friends that are going to vote the right way. Those other folks, leave them at home. Leave them at home. The second thing we're asking you folks is, if you have a prayer list, put us on it. These next 2 days are going to be hardcore. Put Paige and Jason on it, and Winsome and Terrence and me and Suzanne and all our kids. This is a moment we come together as Virginians and we make something amazing happen. We send this shockwave across the country that wakes everybody up. That Virginia is doing what Virginia's been doing since the founding of this great country. We are leading. And we are leading together. Not individually, but together. And I can't tell you how proud I will be. How proud I will be on January 15th. I can't tell you how proud it will make Winsome and Jason to go work for all of you. This is what we're saying, folks. Hire us to go work for you. Hire us. And we will do everything we can to make that Virginia promise come together for all of us. But we got to do it together. We got to do it together. Now let me ask you one last thing. See this bus back here? You see all those signatures on that bus? There's 10,000 people sign that bus. And everywhere we go, we take you with us. So I ask you tonight, come sign the bus. There's scripture, there's veterans, there's handprints from kids, there's teachers, there's small businesses, there's grandparents with us everywhere we go. Everywhere we go, we're traveling as Virginia, not as individuals. And this is why I know we're going to win. And on that day, on the 15th, I'm going to have an overflow of emotion, I'm just telling you, because I'm going to be so filled with a sense of humility and pride together. A sense of opportunity, a sense of responsibility, a sense of just amazing stuff. I mean, honestly, folks, I got to tell you, I'm sitting here walking into a job that was held by Thomas Jefferson. And it was held by Monroe and Patrick Henry. And here's a kid who was washing dishes and taking out trash when I was 15, stepping into this job. And I'm telling you, I'm going to give it everything I got to make Virginia the best it can be. And I will be so proud to be the 74th governor of this great Commonwealth of Virginia. God bless.